Hi everyone, welcome to the 13th edition of the Kaposko Short Film Festival. Today, Indjia and Sofia are going to chat with Simon Baucks, German film director, about his short film in the international competition, Die Verlorenen.
So our first question is why did you become interested in these particular topics you are dealing with in your film? And why, and if they are why, do you think it is relevant for German society?
So I became interested in this topic when I first read a short story by Leonard Brandini, who's Italian by the way, who studied with me at my university, who's just a writer, not a filmmaker. And he really caught my attention because the story was so great, and I asked him if he wanted to try doing a script, and he said yes. And then we were thinking about because we thought we should write it together, what topics do we have in common? And it turned out that we both had a taste for people who kind of hit rock bottom, but stand up from there, and maybe not fight, but make their way out, or try to make their way out, no matter how hard it may seem. And that's how we got interested in that. And why is that relevant to? That is not specifically relevant to German society. That is a topic so general that I guess it might be relevant to all of society.
Yeah. Exactly. And in the short film, we perceive loneliness as a recurrent theme in all the characters' lives. Can we also link it to the past pandemic, particularly in the fact that at the very end, the protagonists eventually find a way to socialize?
Good question. Actually, no, because we wrote the story before the pandemic, so It doesn't have anything to do with the pandemic at all. But loneliness is one of the, I think, most important, not the most, but among the most important topics for humanity, modern humanity, and that is something specifically German, because there's millions. Germany is a very lonely society compared to other societies where I think Germans, they don't easily get in touch with each other. They don't spend their time outside in town squares easily talking to each other. They are a very closed society. So loneliness is a specific topic to them, I guess, but also generally human, and just something that always pains me as well when I feel lonely, which is not always, but everybody knows the feeling. And then I guess I was lucky that the pandemic made this specific feeling more relevant for a while.
And we know that you also studied philosophy, economics and politics before getting into filmmaking and art.
You read up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were wondering how did your previous background influence your filmmaking and artistic production?
I believe very well. Coming from theory, in the beginning when I started making movies, that was actually pretty tough because I was so much in my head and not very well connected to my gut, and to just acting, for example, because if you have heavy thoughts in your head, also for actors, that will make it hard to act. And if you as a director give really complicated academic instructions because you've just read some philosophy bullshit, then that will make it impossible to act. So in a way I had to get rid of all that, or free myself from all that, to be able to work with actors. But at the same time I feel having that lends some more bottom end, hopefully to what I try to do.
And very last question. Why did you choose Die Verlorenen, the specific word for your title?
Oh, it's a thing that I got going on. The last movie I did before was called Die Schützin, which means maybe the shootress, even though the word doesn't really exist in English. And it's just, you know, with short movies, I really try to center them around the characters and try to create a style that is specific to the characters. So it's kind of a character study. And Die Schützin, the one I did before, was a character study for one character, and now it's a character study of 3 characters. And I thought, what do they have in common? And at some point I wanted to call it Die Süchtigen, which is like the addicts, but then I thought, that is like maybe a superficial way of describing them. So I went with that, also because I feel like I like titles to be simple and straightforward, especially for short movies, because coming up with some super fancy title for a short movie, to me, even though maybe from a marketing standpoint would be smart, but for me it feels a bit pretentious sometimes.
Okay, I see. That's very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you as well.
Thank you so much
for having me.
Vielen Dank.
Ja. Grazie.